let's get started. Tonight, we are here to honor the Martial Arts Industry Association's 2022 Lifetime Achievement recipient. This martial artist holds black belts in multiple disciplines. She is an icon around the world. She is the queen of martial arts cinema.
Yes!
On her road to winning multiple world championships, she broke down barriers, created paths for others to follow. She's an inspiration and a role model to martial artists around the world. She is the perfect combination of beauty, grace, precision, and power.
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the 2022 Lifetime Achievement recipient, Grandmaster Cynthia Rothrock.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This really has to be one of the greatest moments of my life. I have to say thank you from my heart to Century for giving me the honor of the Lifetime Achievement Award. When I think Lifetime Achievement, I think, wow, yeah, you know, you've done a lot in your life. But I also think, you know, it's just the beginning for me. There's so much more that I want to do. There's so many more people I want to teach. There's so much things I want to conquer. So in a way, it's kind of like, ooh, okay. This year is 49 years I've been doing martial arts. And not one day goes by that I'm not thinking, doing martial arts. It's my love, it's my life, it's my passion. So what I'm going to do is just give you a really quick journey of my martial arts and what I've learned from it. I started when I was 13, and my girlfriend's parents owned a health club. And they would come and they would practice on Sunday when the salon was closed. And I would go with my friend and we would do cartwheels and flips in the big exercise room. And I saw them doing it, and I was like, what is that? I've never seen anything like that. And I was only 13, I liked their uniform, and I was like, I want one of those uniforms. And I asked them, I said, what are you doing? And they said, we're doing karate. And I said, well, what is that? They said, we're learning how to defend yourself, you know, with our hands and our feet. So I was like, I want to do that. And I've always been an out-of-the-box kind of person. I've taken the road less traveled. I challenge myself. One of my mottos is face your fears. So I was like, I have to do that. So I got my mom to sign me up at the Scranton Karate School, and it was not what I expected. Okay, this is back in the 70s, and I was the only girl in the class at the time. When I started, the first thing I learned was a front kick. And a green belt came over and said, hey, break this board. And it was a half a board, you know those big thick boards they used to have with the big knots in? So I went to kick it, and I broke my toe. And I was like, okay, first class didn't go so well. My second class, Marianne Walsh comes in. Now here's a black belt woman that does not like me being there. So my instructor puts me up with her to spar. I have no idea what sparring is. She kicks me in the head, almost knocks me out. And my instructor comes over and says, don't use your head to block. I was like, okay. Next class I come in, I developed all the blisters over my foot, you know, when you're first learning how to pivot. And then I got shin splints, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I really like this. So I'm sitting, it's about 2 months, and my instructor comes by, and he gives a speech. And I think he's directing it to me about quitters are losers. And then I just sat there going, oh my gosh, I'm not a loser, and I can't quit. And then he started talking about if you have a bad attitude, you're not going to be successful. And I'm like, yeah, I do have a bad attitude. You know, I used to hate doing push-ups. We used to do like thousands of push-ups. So next day I went to class. I couldn't get basic one, that turn. I practiced, I got it. You know, I put tape on my toes so I could pivot. And I said, I love push-ups. Push-ups are great. Let me do more before class. And I changed my mind and I start loving it. And thank God for our parents. Everybody listen to your parents, because my mom said, I signed you up for 4 months, you're not quitting. So at this point, I loved it. I loved it, and it's all about positive attitude. What we think is what we read. So then I'm training about 5.5 months, and my instructor says, you're going to go into a competition. And I was like nervous, going, oh my God. And at that time, it was just women. It didn't matter if you were training 2 months or you were training 25 years, you were all put together. So I'm doing my little PM1 form, and I see the black belts doing Basai Dai, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to place. Well, I took second. A black belt took first, and Marianne Walsh, the black belt that hit me in the head, took third. Yes! So then I decided, you know what? I went from training 2 days a week to 5 days a week, and I said, I'm going to compete in competitions. So I just competed every weekend, and I became #1 in my region, Region 10 for form and weapons. So then I go to compete in an A-rated tournament in New Jersey, and I take first place. And everybody was coming up, who is this girl? Who is this person that beats the #1s? And then I meet George Chung, and he goes, you need to compete in all the A-rated tournaments. So I said I would. So the next one was Chicago. I went there, and then I see George again, and he goes, come to California, compete in Long Beach Internationals and Stockton, and you can train at the West Coast demonstrations. And I'm like, this is like a dream to me. I've read all about these people. So I packed my bags and decided to go to California for a month, and I never went back. And I have to say, training with Grandmaster Ernie Reyes and George Chung has taught me to be the best I could be, because they taught me how to perform, and what I teach in seminars now is develop that warrior spirit, and just that no matter how good you are, you can always be better. And I've always taken that my whole life, thinking that attitude. So then I became #1, and I had a goal. Martial arts has given me the idea to have goals, you know, don't accept failure, keep moving on. And my goal was to be in forms undefeated 5 years in a row. And we were competing 20 to 30 times a year, so it wasn't just 5 times. And I trained fanatically. I went to China, I went to Hong Kong, I went to Taiwan, just to get better in martial arts. So on my 4th year, you know, I'm now in the West Coast demonstration team. Grandmaster Ernie Reyes gets a call saying there's a Hong Kong company, and they're looking for they want a new guy to be the next Bruce Lee. And he said, well, should we bring the girls? And they're like, yeah, absolutely, but you know, they're really looking for a guy. So we went to LA, and I had to do some form, I did self-defense, I did some fighting and weapons, and Yun Kuei, who I love, one of my favorite directors, was auditioning people. And he says, I'm going to go with the girl. So I always tell people you can always change someone's mind if you get up there with confidence and do the best. So now in 1985, I'm off to do my first movie in Hong Kong. I never had an aspiration to be an action star. Here I am thinking, and this is crazy, this was in my head, someday I'm going to have kids and maybe I'll be on a poster and I can say, look, your mom was in a movie. So that movie was a big success, and then I was competing, going back to Minneapolis, to Atlanta, doing movies because I had to have that goal of undefeated for 5 years. And thank God I did, and then I transitioned into films. So that's how my career in films go, and today I'm still doing, I just finished a couple movies. So one of the things now that I get from martial arts, and this word has been really on my mind a lot lately, and it's inspiration. And I feel, you know, we are an all martial art family, that's what we are here to do. We're here to inspire other martial artists to be the best they can be. And today, I was at the show, and I met Caitlin. I know Caitlin, if you're here. And she comes up and says, you are my inspiration. And I was like, stand up, stand up. That meant so much to me because I think we are martial art, better martial artists, to be positive in life. And one of my philosophies is we have to live life to the fullest. So I want to thank you all. Thank you so much for supporting me. I'll be at the show tomorrow on Wednesday and doing a seminar, and I'd love for you to come by and say hi. I'll be here to take some pictures, and I just want to say thank you so much for this great moment in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me. Grab your drink, get on your feet. A toast to the one and only Grandmaster Cynthia Rothrock!
Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.